I'm totally honest, I wasn't particularly excited for the Europa League draw last week. I didn't even mention it on a video, actually. The fact that we'd drawn Freiburg, it was a draw for the last 16. I should have been excited, but I wasn't excited at all. And that was largely down to the form that the team had been in. It wasn't just that we've been playing badly. I think gradually players started to come through. So at our worst, when Jared Bowen was out, when Mohamed Kudus was out on the African Cup of Nations, Lucas Paqueta got injured as well, I sort of understood it. I understood that we weren't going to play very well. But what happened was Bowen came back, Kudus came back, and even Antonio came back, and our performances didn't get any uplift. So then I was in a situation thinking, oh, damn it, you know what, it looks like we're just a one-man team. I think we are more than that for all reasons I've described before, but it almost became a sense of, like I said the other day, no Paqueta, no party. So I just wasn't excited. Now, I guess it just goes to show about the ups and downs at football, that following a 4-2 win, I guess a hat-trick from Jared Bowen, and I think pretty much everybody in the team, with the exception of Kurt Zouma, playing really well, I've got to say, I started to believe again. Now, I don't know if we can win the Europa League, because there are some pretty damn good teams in there. And I think in the back of my mind, I'm still imagining that we will draw Leverkusen in the next round if we get there. And it would be very like West Ham to be knocked out, because obviously it'd be 2 legs against Freiburg. It would be very like West Ham, wouldn't it? I guess to get knocked out by a team that we've already beaten in the group stage and finished on top of them in the group. However, I started to believe again, and it did not take long at all, because there was something wonderful, I think, about the way that we attacked. And one, I'm obviously talking about the Brentford game, we had a 4-2. And it was a case of, it felt like the shackles had been taken off. We've been here before, of course. We've been here before. And I remember Nottingham Forest last season. It's like every so often, we'll win and we'll score 3 or 4 goals. Remember the back-to-back games? I think it was actually during COVID, I think, was it Leicester and Wolves? Well, not entirely sure which way round it was, but it was 3 goals and then 4 goals. So we can score. We can score lots of goals. Occasionally it happens. But also we're very, very capable of conceding 4, 5 and 6s, as you'll see every season. And sometimes it's easy to think the shackles have been taken off. But the way that we played against Brentford was different, it felt, to the way that we played against Brighton, for instance, when we beaten them 3-1. That was very much, I felt, a smash and grab, counter-attacking football. But in the first half, I do remember the commentator saying, just as the half ended, that was the most shots that West Ham had in the first half in the Premier League, perhaps this season. Sounds tenuous as a statistic, doesn't it? But it was good. One point was the statistic sort of confirmed what I thought I see with my own eyes, which was we were attacking and we were going for it. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next game. I'm thinking David Moyes must have liked that, right? He must have enjoyed not only the feeling of winning, he must have enjoyed his team scoring goals. There's been times when we've done really badly this season, and we certainly commented on it in the review on this channel, that David Moyes has been sat down, and normally he'd be prowling the touchline, but he's been so dejected. He's gone and sat down, sort of hunched, shoulders hunched and everything. And it looked like he'd had enough. He couldn't even be bothered to prowl the touchline. This must have been very, very different. This must have been the complete opposite to him feeling terrible because West Ham were feeling terrible. This was West Ham purring. And I actually thought he was showed a bit of humility, actually, I think, in his comments after the game. And I'm thinking, that must have felt good, Moisey. Are you going to do that again? Now, we won't know. We will not know if we've got a new David Moyes on our hand, whether it was a one-off, whether it will just be a tactic that he uses at home, or whether we'll never see it again. Perhaps we just go to Goodison Park and we just park the bus. And it's back to how it was. And I think he can do that, and if he wins and we still look potent on the counter-attack, I think that's fine. I would like to see him go for it in the way we did against Brentford. I'm not sure he's quite got it in. I'm not quite sure that he's got it in his sort of DNA to do that. But as long as we're doing it again for the home games, then I sort of don't mind so much because I do think we are potent on the break. And I do think that with those players, with Bowen and Paqueta and Kudurson and all the players, you know, I think we're a really, really good team. And it has allowed me to hope again. And it's sort of given me a little bit of hope and a little bit of expectation that actually maybe this season ain't dead yet. And look, maybe more fool me for thinking it was, right? Maybe that's just my error. But he looked like he'd lost it so much. And I'm not sure how good it is that so much of it is based on one player. But even if we concede that it's based on one player, then as long as he stays fit, we still have that player, which I think puts us in with a chance of winning. It might not just be that player, by the way. It may well be, as people have said, it may well be that we were on a massive losing, well, it's not a massive losing streak, but you know what I mean. We'd gone a while, shipping loads of goals, not scoring any. We hadn't got a win, and I went swimming, right? I went swimming, and then we won. So, with that in mind, I have decided that I am going to go swimming before the game on Saturday. Honestly, I'm booked in 11:15. I'm booked in for a little swim up. However, what I don't want to be doing is turning up in my Speedos with the Amazon rainforest sprouting out either side. And for that reason, I've just got the perfect tool for the job. And that is the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0, considerably better than the 4.0. This is the tool, boys and girls, well, mostly boys, for all your grooming needs. And the best thing is, we're going to give you 20% off of all Manscaped products by using the discount code HammersChat, all one word, and best of all, we're going to give you free shipping as well. The Manscaped products are absolutely sensational. It's just not the lawnmower, which has got these wonderful ceramic, let's just say, sack-safe blades on them. Not only that, it's actually got a torch. It's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. They've got so many good products. The beard trimmer is absolutely exceptional. If you're someone that likes to carry a little bit of facial hair, like myself, a little moustache, then this really is the tool for the job. They've got the weed whacker, which is for the nostril hair, boys and girls. Again, probably not girls, probably just boys of a certain vintage. You know what happens when you get to a certain age. You need this tool. I'm using it quite a lot at the moment. Check the link out in the description below. They've been really good sponsors, really great people to work with. Amazing products. I have been using beard trimmers for years and years and years. And I say this now, I would not lie to you on this one. I promise you, this is the best beard trimmer I have ever used. Their products are brilliant. Manscaped. Go and check it out. Links in the description below. So, anyway, I will be going swimming. I will. It's quite funny. I'm not overly superstitious normally, but enough people said it in the comments. Said, go on, Gonzo, you've got to go swimming. I'm doing it. I was going to say I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for West Ham. I am doing it for myself. It's part of my sort of try and get fit regime. So if we go on a winning streak, I guess the added benefit is that I'm going to get really, really fit and my cardio is going to be really, really good. I'll probably become a much better swimmer. And West Ham will qualify for Europe, and that'd be brilliant. But I talk about qualifying for Europe. I think that's back on. I really do. I think that is back on. I haven't gone from being worried to being full of expectation. By the way, I just want to say this is hope. It's just allowed me a hope, and I had given up. I don't think the team's perfect. I think the team is far from perfect, actually. I'm looking at it, and I think that the Zuma situation needs to be addressed. But it just goes to show you're not always right on this stuff. And I absolutely would have. I've got to be fair here. I would not have played Soufal in that game against Brentford. I would have played Ben Johnson because I felt Ben Johnson was in a better form. I felt Ben Johnson deserved to play. You've got this whole contractual situation going on as well. And I have to say that I got that completely and utterly wrong. Soufal was brilliant. That was about as good as he can play, I think. He got assists at the start of the season. Then he went for a bit of a barren patch. Eh? That's what happens. You get the barren patch when you use the Lawnmower 5.0, by the way. He went for a bit of a barren patch. And then it looks like he's back to the deliveries and the sort of quality from offensive positions that he was at the start of the season. Wasn't just the assist for Bowen. He set up Thomas Souček for an absolute peach of a chance. And by the way, Souček was... Obviously, Souček was really good in that game, but I actually thought they looked like they did when they first rocked up. I know Souček came in first, but then he brought Soufal in. And when they first came in, they looked like they played international football together. I think recently they've sort of looked a little bit like strangers. I thought they were back to their best. I've already mentioned Emerson. I've mentioned him numerous times since the game against Brentford, but you are getting twice the player there. You really are. And I do wonder, when Emerson came in last season, I remember saying to everyone, saying to Gio, saying to you guys on the video, I think he cost us 13 million. I didn't look at him and think, oh, we've got a bargain there. I didn't look and think, oh, he's one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. We've got a bargain at 13 million. He sort of looked to me like a £13 million player. But I think something's happened. But I think James Ward-Prowse is in the first need to blame, or to credit. Because Moyes bought James Ward-Prowse, because he's bought Edson Alvarez, it basically means he really wants those guys in the team. So he knows he needs to have Paqueta. I'm getting caught between me Paquetas and me Paquetas. But he knew he needed to have him in the team, so he shunted him to the left. We didn't really see it last season. And whilst I don't think it's his best position, and I would like to see him central more often, I really would. What it's done to unlock the potential of Emerson has been absolutely unreal. I'm now not looking at him thinking, yeah, he's a £13 million defender. I'm looking at him, irrespective of the price, I wouldn't put value on him particularly, but he looks like one of the best fullbacks in the league. And that wasn't the case before. And I think we're close. I really do. Moyes will flog these players. He will, but maybe, just maybe, he might get away with it. He might get away with it because they have sort of had a bit of a winter break. And some of them because of injury. Bowen missed a bit because of injury. Kudus missed a bit. Ghana didn't go too well in the African Cup of Nations. He has had a little break as well. Antonio's had a break, albeit because of injury. Obviously, Paqueta has as well. I think there are a number of players that have had a little break, so maybe, just maybe, that will stand him in good stead. I was a little bit worried, I have to say, with the fatigue levels that he didn't substitute. Jared Bowen didn't substitute him, did he, in the game against Brentford? And I thought he probably could have done. And just particularly went on for seven minutes injury time, actually, on that game. Could have, if he'd have taken him off for 18 minutes, I'm sure you've done your mathematics, it'd be 17 minutes rest. Anyway, and Moyes could do better at that, but I didn't. It wasn't right straight after the game, after a 4-2 win to lay in and start picking out what David Moyes done wrong, because clearly he'd done a lot right. But I still think there's tweaks that got to be made, and then the elephant, I was going to say the elephant in the room, the elephant in the back line. Actually, they're quite fast, aren't they? Elephants are very fast, so it's probably not fair to compare a Zuma to an elephant. Maybe a one-legged elephant. No, Escroft, not nice. He's not the most mobile, is he? And I still don't think with Kurt Zuma, I don't think we've seen the worst yet, if that makes sense. I think he's almost got done. I think the game against Nottingham Forest, he wasn't very good, but I think the foul, remember he took and he got the card, I think that sort of helped him out, but he looks like he's on the cusp. Now, don't get me wrong, he was not good against Brentford, but what I'm trying to say is I don't think we've seen the full capitulation of broken Zuma yet. And I think it may well get worse before he gets replaced, basically. I hope David Moyes doesn't wait for that. I really don't. There was some rumours about David Moyes wanting to give Zuma a new contract. I didn't particularly believe the story. Let's hope that's not the case. But I would love to see, I have to say, a Gerd. And I know he's made his mistakes as well, but I'd rather see a Gerd there. I think Mavropanos has got to stay in the team. I'd like to see a Gerd there playing alongside him. But it's also to see a Gerd playing alongside Emerson, because he's got that left foot. And then you've got Paqueta there as well. I think that looks pretty damn good. So I think what I'm trying to say, to go back to the start of the video, I feel there's promise there. I really do. I really do. I feel because I've got that West Ham pessimist in me, I think. So I am thinking even if we get through Freiburg, then we get an unfavourable draw. But we might not. We might get a favourable draw. And I have to say, if Moyes can make that defence stingy again, and I don't think it means us necessarily sitting back, because that wasn't particularly working anyway. I think possibly take Zuma out of there and you might be able to tweak it and it might be able to work. Then we can score goals. And if you have Kudus and people like Bowen playing with their pecker up because they're the Brazilian playmakers there, then I think we're onto something. I really do. Fingers crossed, anyway. You don't know. I mean, look, I'm quite aware that I could be here in a week's time or 2 weeks' time and we lose 3 games and then it's back to doom and gloom. But I don't want it to be doom and gloom. I really don't. I want us to do something this season. I really do. And I want David Moyes to leave with his head held high off the back. And then honestly, it could ride off into the sunset and he could turn around and go, I qualified for 4 years in a row in Europe and all that sort of thing. Look, we'll deal with the renewed contract, the amended contract. That means any new deal would mean he would have to accept the role of head coach rather than manager. We'll do that. That's a story for another day. But I think at the moment, as I say, I just really wanted to... I was feeling pretty positive about it. It has to be said. I'm really looking forward to seeing these players play again. Looking forward to Everton. I'm pretty sure, Sean Dyche... Look, we'll deal with that in the Everton preview. But I'm pretty sure Sean Dyche will be laying some booby traps. That's for sure. But I think we've got a chance.